The idea of clean energy has taken center stage this week with the launch of a six-figure campaign urging Senator Todd Young to protect thousands of clean energy jobs across Indiana. This ad prompts a timely debate about how the state utilizes and invests in clean energy operations. With more on this is Wish TV contributor Emil Ekiyor. Welcome, sir.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Well, there can be a lot of noise with the back and forth on the topic of clean energy. So, why should the average household pay attention?
So I think what we haven't done is really educate people on clean energy, right? We talk about it, people hear so much about it, and sometimes there's a lot of fear around that, right? But we haven't told people on how this is applicable to their daily lives.
Yeah.
The air we breathe, how your home is connected, all the different things that happen that we know in some cases today. Now, we didn't necessarily know 20 years ago how that impacts our daily lives, how that impacts our health. So educating people, the average person, on what does clean energy mean, how does that apply to you, how does that apply to your health, how does that apply to just sustainability in the world we live in? Like, we want this world to still be around for our kids and our grandkids. But if we don't do things differently, what effect is that going to have on the world our grandkids live in? So having real conversation about those things and educating people, we haven't spent enough time doing that. We just went into implementation, right? So the average person doesn't really know, like, I can live without this. This doesn't affect me. Why are we spending so much money on this? So I think that we have to start there and really start engaging and educating people about why these things are important.
Well, with that noise, how can businesses, and we talk about importance, how can businesses and talent scouts remain strong and confident in Indiana as a place to do business and the decisions that we face when it comes to clean energy after we talk about the education component?
Yes, so a lot of our major companies are deep in this game. Cummins headquarters is right here in Indiana. When it comes to clean energy, they're one of the foremost leaders globally as far as how they're producing engines and different things they're doing as Cummins. They have a whole clean energy department in Cummins. So as one of our major companies, taking some of that lead to make sure that we are engaging and really explaining the opportunities that also come with clean energy, new jobs, right? Upskilling and reskilling people to do things differently, right? All of those things are innovations that have happened with clean energy. So as a state, we were just getting to embrace this, right? We were just getting educated. More people were getting, putting solar panels on their homes and just learning about this. So to do away with it now, we never got a chance to see the difference that could have happened if we just stayed the course. So those are one of the things I see is like, this was all new. So if it just goes away, we would never know what could have happened because we never had a chance to see the benefits of what was being implemented.
So what happens next then? What do we need to do to keep this conversation going?
I try to listen to both sides, right? And try to listen to both arguments as to why it's happening. Why are we removing these subsidies and some of these things that have been in place to help us to become a cleaner state and a cleaner nation? What is your reasoning for doing that? So listening to that. Then the other side of the argument as far as why we need to do these things for sustainability in the world we live in, right? So we try to say, what is the middle ground? We hear both sides, but what can we do? Because we know this is real, right? So we can't afford to just scrap everything, right? And maybe we can't afford to do some things that we may not be able to afford to do today, right? But we have to understand what is the middle ground to make sure that the water we drink is clean, the air we breathe is clean, right? The way we build data centers actually support communities and don't hurt communities. All of these things are the way of the future. Energy is the most important thing, right? The access to energy is really the most important thing when it comes to thriving communities, and the access to affordable energy. So how do we make sure that's happening here in Indiana as we continue to grow? Because that could be a threat to our growth.
Wish TV contributor Emil Ekiyor, thanks for your time today.
Thank you for having me.